So in a previous clip we had talked about how different people will have different biases in their thinking. Could be optimistic, could be calamity, and yeah, they can complement each other very well. That could be very pink bucket if we've had some great conversations and we're aware and so on. And it could really cause problems for each other if we're not so aware and we're not having open conversations. So, what can we do about it? Well, what I'm going to invite you to do is to commit to a number of things. One is get yourself very self-aware and very other-aware. So, notice your own biases in your thinking. Be honest about your own biases in your thinking. Know that there are some green bucket aspects to that. There are some real great pink bucket aspects to that. Notice also the people in your community, in your teams, in your family, and notice that they may have some different biases to you. When you notice that, the step two, if you like, is to have some great conversations, some really open conversations about there is no right or wrong style. It's just that sometimes it's not working, sometimes it is working. We really want to be in the pink bucket. We want to have it working for us all. So those great quality conversations, respectful conversations, are really key to keeping each other in the pink bucket and collectively achieving what you want to achieve in life and experience what you want to achieve in life. So be aware, have great conversations. The third one is to really be very respectful of other people's position, so that you're taking some ownership to be willing to flex, adapt, meet the needs of the other people in your groups and communities and your teams and so on. So let's have an example of this. If I'm someone who's naturally a super optimistic person, and I know that some of the people in my collective are more calamity type thinkers, if I've had really good, open, honest communication about this between my ears and with others, I would know that a green bucket possibility of me being super optimistic in the company of calamity thinkers is I'm going to be scaring them. They're going to be getting even more worried because I'm like just wanting to go for it, not seeing any potential obstacles, just make it happen. I'm going to be scaring people. So a really respectful position would be for me to take that into account and maybe say, well, before I enthusiastically leap forward, given that this is going to affect other people, maybe what I do is maybe build a case of why this could work. Maybe I show some inclination to ask them, are there any potential hazards or things that I haven't perhaps thought through that we need to take into account before we take that step forward. Maybe even just not expect too much enthusiasm from them, because it's not the way they most naturally operate. That would be a respectful flex, if you like, from keeping it out of the green bucket and in the pink bucket. Equally, if I was a calamity thinker and I knew that there was some real optimists surrounding me, I know that a potential green bucket aspect to my behaviours, my thinking, is that I could end up draining the energy out of situations if I'm not careful. So what I could do is just be a little bit more guarded on leaping in with, there's an obstacle here, there's an obstacle there, you haven't thought this through, we need to cover this space. I might just be a little gentler about the way I introduce that. I might share a bit of enthusiasm with them first. I might really listen without interrupting them first, and only then start to introduce some of the possible things we might need to take into account. So this is respectful. So get aware, have great conversations, be willing to own flexing your own behaviour to make sure that collectively we're in here as much as the time as we can. We're not going to get it right all the time, but let's raise our game every day and let it start with us making some commitment. For more, go to pinkbucketthinking.com.